Woo!
We're live. What a way to start.
I've been waiting to do that. I've been waiting
Yes.
2 times 100 pounds to do that.
Yes.
Now we did.
Now we have the bells. I gotta ship Murph his, but it's on my list. I'm going to do that. Is it your milkshake that brings all the boys to the, or that has nothing to do with bells, but I don't know why that song popped in my head when you ring the bell. Maybe like
that's just a song that follows me around. It's just,
everywhere.
My milkshake always brings all the boys and girls to the yard.
We don't discriminate.
Everyone. No. It just brings everyone to the yard.
Hey, Jojo. Hey, Dominate. Is that Dom?
Is that Dom? Or is
that
just, I dominate.
Dominate.
I like it either way. You dominate, bro. You dominate.
Whoever you are.
Yeah, I don't know, but you just do it.
Do it. We have Sharky Chicky.
Woo! I miss you guys. I was so happy to see you.
Oh yeah, it's Dominic. Okay, cool. I like how your YouTube name is just Dominate. I think that needs to be your new name.
I dominate from. You're in Mexico, no? Yeah, it's Mexico. It's not Dominican.
Yeah,
I think it's Mexico. Yeah, yes. But you dominate from there. Yo, your mini me is totally so your mini me. I love it. I love it, man.
That's like Marcus's to you.
Yeah.
Welcome, friends. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. Murph is still in the process of moving, but he said to say hi to everybody and he wants to come back. It's just, busy times going back and forth right now, kind of getting things settled. But we're here for happy hour. Last week was so much fun. We had so many people hop on. I felt like I had to be the bad guy because Rob's always the good guy and like, oh yeah, let's just bring everybody in. And I had to be like, hey,
like Anna, get out.
I know. I'm like, sorry, I have to start kicking people out. But it was so much fun to have everybody on. And a lot of those people that we had on, we're going to do individual shows with them. So I don't have to be the bad guy and kick them out.
We dominate.
Dominate. Yeah. We need to get him on for a guys' night. But I want to be involved. So it'll be a guys' night and me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back with our non-scale victories. For those that didn't see, I need to do a post about it because I haven't shared it yet. But one of the really cool parts, one of the many cool parts of Just Be You Bariatric Awards was Dr. Fridley and Macy were there. And if you guys don't know, they have this really cool huge bell in their office. And when they have patients that lose 100 pounds, right? Rob, is that right?
Yep.
They get to ring the bell. And so Rob has been saying for years now that he's going to steal the bell. And they did a really cool, like, I don't know, what would you call it? Like, not a skit, like a...
I was going to say it was like a salute.
Yes.
Like it reminded me of like when, the military like shoot the guns into the sky, but then they did with the bells. Yeah.
Yes. It was almost like a ceremony. They like had like a ceremonial presentation of bells at JBY's. And so me and Rob, we got one. I have Murph's behind there that I'm going to be shipping to him. I know. And it looks like Steph, you got a bell. Neto wants a bell.
No, your bell is fake. Steph, we love
bells.
You, but your bell is
your
fake.
Bell is Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's not the real bell. Mine's the real bell.
Yes,
not really, but
well, and it's fitting though because we're gonna have Dr. Fridley on our show a bit later on, and we're gonna have Dr. Joe.
Yes,
and I'm so excited. Like Stephanie's like, it is not.
Yes, you got the Taco Bell.
I got.
Oh yeah, you got your award. Cool. I got my award, the real bell.
The real bell.
Not the Taco Bell.
Oh no. Kind of sounds like the Taco Bell.
Right? Run to the border. Is that what it is? Run to the border? Is that what the slogan is?
Or... Is it? Maybe back in the 90s. I don't think
anymore. Back in the 90s. I think that they would say, hey, don't do that. There's a wall in the way. Taco Bell slogan. Oh yeah, it's different now.
What? Oh wait, don't tell me. What is it? It's no, I don't know what it is. What is it now?
Live Mas.
Oh yeah, Live Mas.
I didn't know that.
Do you remember when they had this was like when I was little, so Rob, you were probably 30. But at Taco Bell, remember they had yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah,
And it was like it was the little chihuahuas, and in the kids' meals you would get little chihuahuas, and they like I think they would do them like seasonally, where one had like a rose for Valentine's Day. Like there were different ones. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, it was Run for the Border. That's I could see why it wouldn't work for now.
Yeah.
It's not
Didn't
a good
age
option.
well.
Yeah.
Look,
like,
we
where's
have
the beef?
Yes, we have Rachel and Shea and Mac. It's so good to see you guys on here. Choco Taco. No, that's not somebody's name. That's what Steph said. That should be somebody's username, though. That would be a good one.
Dirty girl. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna just segue right out of that one. So if anybody has non-scale victories, we kind of shared them last week, but it wasn't like our normal show. So like I really missed that. If you guys have non-scale victories to share, please start sharing them. And I feel like after we read them, we gotta do a little bell.
Oh, this is very coming back to the Catholic roots here.
I know it is. Doesn't it?
Hallelujah.
Yeah. It makes the sound very official.
Oh, it's ice cream. Dickie D. Did you? Oh no, you're American. But yeah, the guys in the ice cream, like on the bike with the big ice cream thing, and then they'd ring the bell. Do you guys have that in the States or no?
What is it called?
So it used to be called Dickie D. So it's like
Dickie D.
Yeah, it's like a little freezer on a bike, and then so people would ride around to the parks and stuff, and then you'd sell like not freezies, but like popsicles or ice cream.
Yeah. No, we had like ice cream trucks, but not
we
like
had ice cream trucks too, but yeah. See, you're too young.
I'm too young. Look,
they didn't ride bikes anymore when you're young.
No, we were already moved on to cars at that point. Shea and Mac said, "Hi, I remember. I think we need a bigger box. We ate Choco Tacos to survive bad call nights during internship." There you go.
Nice. You're American. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. NSVs. What you got? You got any good ones?
For me?
Yep.
Yeah, actually, I was just thinking of one today. I feel like I probably said this one before, but it's worth saying again. But I had to go into work today. I work for a hospital system that's local to me. And I have to go in on occasion, to check in on certain things. And the parking lot is, pretty good distance away from getting into the building. And then when I'm in the building, it's like quite a bit of a ways to get to my office. And then kind of, I'm walking and going to different floors and stuff within the hospital. Mm-hmm. And it is just so nice not having to worry about that. Like, and I still overcompensate and think it's going to take me way longer than it actually does. So it's like, I'll leave like my office to get to a floor, and I'll give myself like 10 minutes. And it's like, I get there in 2 minutes, and it's like, oh, I don't have to, leave that early and stuff. But it's like just walking, I just have such an appreciation that I don't get out of breath, that it's not something I have to be considerate or like to consider for myself and plan for, or like plan for like sweating or needing like to know where benches are to sit down and take a break. Like it's just, I do it and I just don't even think about it. And I just am so grateful. So when I have days like that, when I'm going all around the hospital and stuff, I just am like, wow, it still hits and it's still cool.
That's awesome. Like that's a huge one for me too. Not this week.
Oh, wait.
Oh, very nice. I approve.
I approve of this message.
Yeah. That's good. You get 2 bells.
Yay.
Oh, we got some.
All right. Do you want to read Matt's?
Yeah, Matt's. NSV here. I love to be able to put things in my pocket while sitting behind the wheel. Don't have to get out. That's honestly, these are like the ones I really, yes. Matt, we salute you.
I know we need to think of like something better to say.
I know. She's like, we salute you.
Good job. Good work.
Yeah. Bell SV. No, that sucks too. Yeah. No, see, things like that, like things that unless you lived in our shoes, you do not get. Like that is a big one, having to open your door, having to get out halfway to take stuff out of your pockets, because you couldn't do that previously, and no one would think about that except us. So congratulations, that's awesome.
Steph has 2 of them. She said, me and Bex met in real life 3 years ago today. Look, Dr. Fridley's on. And Macy, they said they love the bells.
See, and I'm being very hesitant to ring it because I know it's going to call my kid. So he's like, "Oh, what's going on? It's the bell."
I'll do it. I'll do it. You don't have to.
All right. No, I'm going to do it.
Okay. I was just giving you an option.
This bell for so long, man.
And then Steph also said her first revision was 3 years and 5 days ago, I think. So
wow. You just get that half-hearted one because you're just like, "Oh, thank you for our bell. Remember, run to the border stuff. You got the Taco Bell."
Yep. We're just looking for any reason to do the bell.
Shan Mac, I did squats today. Still hit them, but at least I can do them. Bam.
Well, bam.
That is a way practical and awesome ass NSV. Way to go. Don't know who you're talking to, Netta, but bam.
Netta is just an NSV, period.
Yeah, like you see, honestly, I love the gym checks with Netta. She's like, "Oh, how do I get in the cool kids?" And all of a sudden, her and Chris are at the gym. Love it. You guys are killing it. Oh, yes, Mary. I know all about this one. Mary, not firsthand, but bought a 2-piece bathing suit online and it fit.
Woo!
Posing that.
Yeah, baby.
What? Everyone is going. I love that I can walk up hills now without having to take breaks. This is Rachel Bennett 1011.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Bariatric Warrior Steph. Hey, we may show up in Canada for rat. Are you lying?
Show up.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Because if you do,
we have some fun things planned. And Rob, I have not seen him this excited since he got the bell.
I don't even want to do the show anymore, like the competition.
I know, we just want to hang out with each other.
Yeah. We got a wicked fun weekend planned. All day on Saturday in Toronto. We're gonna have
run it through for those that maybe don't know about it, because if people do still want to come, you can still get tickets, and it's cheaper in Canada for US. So it's like our money conversion is awesome right now. I don't know if it'll stay that way, but we'll see.
It will.
Okay, cool.
First off, tequila shots with Dr. Shan Mac. Woo! Know all about that. Radical dates. I like that it's called radical dates. Yo.
Radical dates. And then I'm going to get to your NSV because yours is an awesome one too.
Yeah. But radical dates and dominate voice. It's going to be June 6th. So that is a Friday, the first Friday in June.
Netta, you can dance there. You can do your fry dance there. You're still allowed to in Canada.
Oh my God. You better be dancing when I get up on stage if you were to come. We should live stream it. We should have someone live streaming it.
I'll ask Dylan. Dylan will do it.
That is going to be so awesome. However, it is Friday. Friday night is going to be the show. And there are many people from the bariatric community, our bariatric community, taking part. There is Shea. There is myself. There is Banana Anna getting fit. There is Banana Split getting fit. There's Arthur Shadwick. There's Corinne, Heather Hopkins. Mary is also, hence the 2-piece. My friend Zoe, Stephanie. So there's tons of people from our bariatric community. Bodybuilder, who is super excited to meet me, and I'm super excited to meet him. He had bariatric surgery, I think it was a couple years ago, and he did summer shredding previously. So tons of people from our community coming. We are competing Friday. Friday afterwards, there is going to be a party. Oh, do you know who else is going to be there? A little known person named Mel from our Sleeve Life podcast. She's going to be there as well. She's going to be celebrating.
And she announced too, I think it's okay because she announced it. We were on our Sleeve Life podcast last night, that it hasn't aired yet. But she said 2026 is going to be the year that she's going to compete, right? She said that.
She did. She did.
Yeah. So this will be her introduction into it.
Yes.
And then,
And I also said that I will be training her. So if anyone is listening and would like to also be trained, because they will be competing next year, hit your boy up.
Yeah.
Friday, that is the day. Saturday, we are going to breakfast. I have a restaurant that I am renting the whole restaurant, or booking the whole restaurant for our group. We're going to have breakfast in the morning. Then we're going to head into Toronto because I don't want to hang out at the airport. A lot of you guys haven't been to Toronto before. I want everyone to just enjoy. So we are going into Toronto on Saturday. We're going to do all the touristy things. We're going to go up the CN Tower. We're going to go visit everything. Then we're going to head back closer to where I live. We're going to do a kick-ass karaoke night. I'm trying to get D because he has a voice of an angel. We're trying to get D to come. And then Sunday, we are going to head over to Niagara Falls and spend the day in Niagara Falls. So come visit, come cheer on your friends, cheer on your community who are competing for the bodybuilding competition, and then just hang out with us on Saturday and Sunday.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited as it gets closer, especially having JBYs and getting to see so many people. It's like, I think that's what I realized. I've just been kind of in a funk like the last few months, and I'm realizing more and more it's because like I've been lonely. Like even though we have virtual stuff, it's like I've been needing more in-person stuff of just like
100%.
Getting to connect with people. And so I'm really wanting to participate in more of that, and also like do more meetups here in Southern Oregon. So that's coming too. I know that Mel and I are going to do one in the summertime in Southern Oregon. So I'm thinking maybe July. We haven't firmed anything up quite yet, but I just need more of that for myself. So I want to try to offer that more.
So Steph, are you pulling our chain? Are you ringing our bell or something? Like the real one, not the fake one that you have, but like, are you ringing our bell? Greg said we're coming. Are you actually going to come?
I hope so.
I know. Don't lie to me. Don't play with emotions. Aaron, also message me. I want to know what your plans are for everything, because I'm going to include you in all the details.
Awesome. All right. I need to share Netta's NSV because this is such a good one.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Okay, awesome. We'll get to them. Netta said, ran around with my family shooting water guns for 30 minutes today and didn't get tired. Woo! That's awesome. Dr. Fridley said, it sounds like the trolley bell from Mr. Rogers. Brings back such great memories. I don't know. We're gonna have to that.
You don't know Mr. Rogers?
No,
Shea?
I do. Well, I don't know. What I was going to say is I don't know if that was sarcasm or if he actually likes Dr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. Let's see. Dr. Shea and Mac, cut off from shots. That's okay, girl. Just stick with my 2, and 2 is the most I can do in one sitting.
I will say, if we go karaoke, it's happening. You're gonna go to 6 shots in your life.
Oh boy, 6 shots in my life.
It'll be great. My wife will drive us everywhere.
Dom, read Dom's. Can you see his NSV?
No, because I accidentally closed Instagram.
Okay, I'll read it. Dom said, not dreading an airplane bathroom. Woo!
Yeah, that's okay. So the airplane bathroom. Let's just talk about this, because I got my start talking about bathroom stuff.
Yes.
That's a serious one. Like I flew to the Philippines, and it is a long ass flight, and that's what I dreaded, having to go to the bathroom because you could not fit, right? Like literally it was sideways. I'm touching everything. I'm a germaphobe at that point. And it's just like, I don't know what to do with my life. So you try to hold it the whole time, but I'm flying to the Philippines, man. That's not safe or healthy or any of those things. So awesome, Dom. Congratulations. That's amazing.
So cool. And who was it? I think Shan Max said just flying in general is an NSV.
She also said she has to choose between Toronto and Orlando.
Oh, easy choice.
I'm not going to be at Orlando
like that, but
yeah, that's true.
But Toronto's going to be so fun.
It will.
And it'll be like your crew again. Like Anna's going to be there.
Right.
We're going to be there. Netta is getting her passport updated, so that looks promising. Steph.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Steph's coming. We're going to make it happen.
And
We're gonna make
Greg,
it
of
happen.
course.
And Greg, for sure. I feel like I have a budding bromance with Greg too, because every
Oh
time
my
I see him,
gosh.
I feel like we need to
He's so
hug.
sweet. I know. I know.
Gabe
There
and
were a
Joel.
lot of
Joel's like
bromance.
literally just like 40 minutes from me.
Yes.
Yeah, convince her. And Gabe was with Dylan. My they were
Mhm.
my escape plans. If ever I was caught in awkward conversations at JBY's, like Dylan would always lock eyes with me, and then he would know, and he would be like, "Oh, hey, I got someone who wants to meet you. They've been following your journey." And then I'd go, and it'd be Gabe, and every time Gabe would shake my hand,
Yes.
pretending to actually want to meet me, but he
Mhm.
didn't.
He had to pretend hard, yeah, to
Yes.
that was tough.
Yep.
Oh, and Steph, she said that they asked to
To compete.
compete. So again, when the OSLP episode drops where Rob and I were on, listen to that one. But that's one thing I do want to like dispel because I never thought that I would want to compete. And you can make it be whatever experience you want it to be. Where Rob, he goes very hard and is very,
Mm,
100%, but that's kind of how he does everything. For me, I really went into it like I wanted to keep my mental and emotional health first. I just had different reasons going into it. And so it's like I have been focused on it, but it hasn't been something I've been killing myself over.
yeah.
So, and I think that's what I'm excited about this year, where I think
Yeah.
there's going to be more diversity with the bodies that are going to
100%.
be
It's gonna
there,
be
which I think
amazing.
is so cool. And so you don't have to have what you think of when you think of like a stereotypical bodybuilding
Yeah.
competition. This is very different from
Yeah.
that. So
And so I actually think that we should have a show
that's dedicated
after,
to this.
yeah, after RBT to
Mhm.
talk about this, because I think there's so much interest in it. And I think it's going to be really good to dispel what the preconceived notions are, the misconceptions
Mhm.
about it,
Mhm.
and
Well, I think
what
we should do
it's
one
like.
before too, because
Yeah.
like, I feel
Well,
like,
Mary was like, "Are you going to do one when Shay comes home?" She arrives too late, though.
oh, I know.
Right?
I know. But we could do one on the next day or something. Okay,
Let's
or
see.
not. I don't
Let's
know.
see.
And I
Let's
haven't
see.
booked my flights yet, so maybe I'll get in earlier.
Oh, there you go. Also, Murph's here. Hey, buddy. I am
Woohoo!
so happy that you took a nap today. Take care of you, buddy. The bell. Oh my shit.
Murph, I'm gonna be getting your bell shipped out to you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. Selma, stronger self. Hey, you're killing it, Selma.
Mhm.
When we do have our show talking about competing, I hope you listen, Selma, because you are killing it. You are killing your fitness journey. I would love to see you compete. If not, it's all good. I love just seeing all like the gym checks and see how everyone is really adopting
Mhm.
fitness into their lifestyle. It's amazing. So keep killing it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and Steph asked, "Are you coming to Vegas with us?" That's another one on my list where I want to do a Vegas trip with some people. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Gotta go. Love you. Miss you. Bye, Shannon. Um, Aaron, the good thing is like when you go see this show, you're gonna see that there is a variety of body types. Remember, it's not a bodybuilding show, it's a transformation show. What does
Mhm.
transformation mean to you? It means something different for everyone. And so a big part of the grading is how you represent transformation. What does your story mean? What does that look like? What does your before and after pictures look like? It doesn't need to be like I was 400 pounds and now I'm ripped and jacked. That's not
Mhm.
transformation for majority of the people, right? And so it's going to be a bit different for everyone. And you just I've been telling everyone the biggest thing is to represent who you are. That's the
Mhm.
most important thing. Like, because at the end of the day, like for me, I do not care if it's a win or a loss, if it means that I'm true to my story and true to what I did to work to get to where I am right now. That's all that matters. And I think it's the same thing for everyone. And when you are there, you'll see that, which I absolutely like. With that said, if you did, like, no way do you have the right body, you said, it's a year away.
Well,
You could be any body you want in a year.
and yes, and like going into it and deciding to do it, for me, the reason I said yes is because it was like I'm so proud of my body and even where it was at 6 months ago before that, or whenever I made the decision to do it, where I was like, if I walked out on stage right now, I would be proud of what I did.
Yes.
And so not saying that that's like the attitude or mindset you have to have, but you can have that
Yeah.
mindset and attitude. And I think for me, that was a really healthy choice because for so long, it was always like, oh, you know, I want to have that summer body, or I'm not going to wear certain things until I get to this point. And it's like, no, I'm so
Yeah.
tired of putting those restrictions around me. It's like,
Sure.
let's see what I can do in this time. And that'll just be like gravy. And I'm surprised at how much my body has changed in that
Sure.
time, but it hasn't been from a self-punishing place. And I
Yep.
think that's the biggest thing, where
Yep.
whatever you do, don't do it from a self-punishing place.
And the thing is, like, if we were to look at every single person in this chat and you were to look at your transformation, you guys all have killed your transformation.
Mhm.
Right now, not 6 months after contest
Yes.
prep or anything like that. Right now, you guys all have award-winning transformations as it is. So don't feel
Mhm.
like all of a sudden everything has to be like super hardcore or anything like that. You guys have already won. You guys are already worth winning a transformation competition as it is right now, right? Like
Mhm.
if you choose to decide to make it something more and to go a bit further with it, then that's your approach. And it's
Yep.
not for everyone. It's what you want to make from it.
Mhm.
But don't stop because you feel like you don't have a ripped body, as you had mentioned,
Yep.
or what you think should be at a transformation show, because you'll learn that it's going to be a variety of different things.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm excited about. We have lots of people participating that have loose skin, that
yeah.
haven't had surgery, some who have had, you know, skin removal surgery. And so I think I'm just so excited to have all of like the pictures and videos to just add to the movement of all bodies are amazing. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And honestly, you know, I've said it before, the weekend is just going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome to hang out with everyone. It's going to be awesome to see everyone. It's going to be awesome to just enjoy each other's time. So close to GPYs as well, which is good because often you fall into other funk after. So I'm glad
Mhm.
we can get a fix there. So
All right. Well, I know we're just a couple minutes out. Should we do? I think we got all of the NSVs, but I see both of our guests are on. So should we do sexy time music a little early so we can get them on right at 9?
it's never too early for sexy time music, just so
I
you know.
mean, truly.
Really, like first thing I do when I wake up, I turn on sexy time music. I'm just singing it in my head out loud.
You know, like
My
as
wife
we're
gets mad.
talking about this, like what if
I hear
that
sex.
was what I used for my competition
Oh shoot.
posing?
I would laugh my ass off. I think it
I
would be
was just
so
talking to
amazing.
Rob before we hopped on because you have 45 seconds to pose with music. And I was telling him, like, nothing is like resonating or sitting, and I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to chew on that a little bit.
Doom, doom, doom.
It'd
Oh,
be-
damn. There's so much shoulders on your pose too. You're just like
That's
this.
true.
It's like you hit your pose, bam, shoulder, bam, another shoulder. I like it.
I'm going to
Oh my
be thinking
God.
about it. We'll see. We'll see. All right.
Oh
We're going
my
to do
God.
a little bathroom break, and then we'll be back with our guests. So.
Feast on Shea's posing music in 3, 2,
In this moment,
yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not
What's up? It's Murph. And if I were here, I would say I miss you guys. Hello, it's Shea. Welcome, welcome.
Hey guys, it's Rob, waiting in vain, and welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast.
Ooh.
I got my bell.
Hello. Welcome back from our bathroom break.
Oh my God. I honestly, this bell, I don't need a JBY. I just need the bell.
Mm-hmm.
It made my whole JBY experience.
Your whole life. I
It made my
swear,
whole life
in all
because I've
the
been
years I've
threatening.
known you now, you have never been that happy that I've ever seen.
I was very, very giddy. I've been threatening for a long, long time to go to Florida and steal Dr. Fridley's bell because my clinic in Canada, we don't ring bells to celebrate 100 pounds lost. I don't get to ring it twice for losing 200 pounds, but I get to watch stories of people doing it every day.
Major
and I'm
FOMO.
jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm jealous. I got FOMO. So as much as I threaten, I am very grateful to receive my own bell. So thank you so much. I'm still going to steal the real one, but this is a good placeholder for now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob. Unfortunately, Murph is busy with real life moving. We got Shea, and of course, we got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, and take a seat at the table. Shea, how's it going today?
Good. I'm so excited to be here. I want to just jump in because we have our guests that are here and I'm so excited. So we have Dr. Fridley and Dr. Joe, but I know it's like weird because Dr. Fridley is known as Dr. Fridley, but Dr. Joe is known as Dr. Joe. So it feels weird saying one with the first name, one with the last name, but that's just who they are in the community. So I'm so excited to have them on. They're both bariatric surgeons, super active in the community. We're so grateful for them. So Rob, you want to bring them on up?
Sure will.
Hello. Oh,
yeah.
They're here.
I put the real bells under lock and key.
It should be. We got to get you one, Dr. Joe, too. I feel bad now that you're left out.
He got to celebrate his birthday, so.
Okay, well, that's good.
There you go. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Excellent. Great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I know that one of the topics, it's really your guys' managers, aka your wives, that kind of do a lot of the behind the scene things, and Marty for you, Dr. Joe. We don't want to leave him out. But I know we want to talk a little bit about insurance, and I know you guys are both very passionate about that. But before we dive into that, I thought we would do a fun little game. If you haven't been on the show before, you wouldn't know this, but I am kind of the game master where I always like to throw fun games. And this one I think is pretty easy. I think you guys will be able to do this one pretty well. It's truth or myth bariatric surgery edition. So feel free for the audience, if you guys are watching and you're able to type it fast enough, you can say if it's a myth or truth. But are you guys up for the challenge? We'll see how much you know.
Let's do it.
Go.
Okay. And Rob, you can participate too, and we'll see how knowledgeable you are.
No, mine, I have the Canadian version. It's different. So.
Oh, it's different. Okay, yeah, perfect.
That's my excuse if I get it wrong.
Perfect. No, I think you guys will be able to get these ones. But for those that are maybe new bariatric patients or people who are considering, some of us veterans will probably know these, but this might be new information to people who are watching. So, truth or myth, bariatric surgery is extremely dangerous. What would you guys say?
Easiest one in the world. Total myth. Bariatric surgery is extremely safe. And that's the whole reason why we do it, that having the procedures, which are oftentimes safer than relatively routine gallbladder operations, appendix operations. It's safer to have these surgeries and get that increased health and get that increased quality of life than to actually not have the surgeries. So we're going.
Awesome. Yep. Great. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Next one. Most people will gain all of their weight back after bariatric surgery.
We'll jump to you on this one, Dr. Fridley.
Myth. That's a myth. There are patients who do have weight regain, and it is a real thing. It does happen quite frequently. But for the most part, if you're following up with your program or your nutrition, then you can keep it off. And I think staying in communication with your team is the most important. But if you trust your team, stick with them, they'll keep it off for long term.
Awesome. You guys, see, these are pretty easy, right? You guys are feeling pretty good about these, right? All right, next one.
One comes.
Yeah, right. I tried to keep them pretty. I knew you guys would be able to get all of these. Okay, myth or truth? It's safe to conceive after bariatric surgery.
Super safe. So very true. I like to tell patients wait at least a year, sometimes up to 2 years after their procedure. Honestly, in all the years I've been doing this, I've had a lot of oopsies. And mom has done fine and baby has done fine with the pregnancy, but it's very difficult for mom to be losing weight, baby trying to gain the weight. I do think it affects kind of like long-term numbers where people are going to settle. So you like to be at a nice, healthy weight when you conceive, because you'll just have a much easier time conceiving, which is a big why for people coming for weight loss, both men and women, actually. Jim may not know that. And a much safer pregnancy at a better, healthier weight.
Yeah, awesome. That's a big reason why I did it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very safe.
All right. Are you guys good? I think I have 3 more here. So vitamins aren't that important after bariatric surgery. Myth or truth?
That couldn't be further from the truth. That is beyond a myth. That is not even a legend. So, multivitamins are, we talk about it all the time, and your pick of which one you want to go with, but it's very important for you to get all those micronutrients as your whole system is changing, and to continue that on. It's just it's another layer of safety. It's an important thing.
Awesome. Great. All right. Myth or truth? Bariatric surgery leads to alcoholism. And these are literally ones that I saw online. And so this is
what people Google before they have surgery, right?
Yeah.
So these are good.
These are
all an interesting one.
These are all really good questions. I think for the most part, myth. Okay. People who have weight loss surgery, there is a relatively small risk of a transfer addiction, whether that be, alcohol or shopping or even something like exercise, which is also a good thing. So there is a small risk of transfer addiction as people lose weight and they sort of lose that, the dopamine that happens when we eat. But I think that number is relatively small. Certainly, I wouldn't let that stop anybody. But yeah, there is occasional transfer addictions.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say it's not. There's a small root of truth in there from the transfer addiction. That's about it.
Yep. Awesome. All right, last one. Bariatric surgery is the easy way out. Myth or truth?
That is a myth. So, everyone who's been through it knows that it's not an easy route, and nor should it be. It's a very complex disease. It takes a complex approach. And so that's why we have to invite so many people to the table to do it properly. And so I think long-term, this is a life change, and there's no easy way out with a long-term life change. But you have to know your why. I think that's the most important. You really have to know why you're doing it, because that'll be your fuel as you move forward.
So Shea hit us with a whole bunch of myths. There's not one truth in there, Shea.
No, there was. I said it's safe to conceive after bariatric surgery, and that was the truth.
But let me ask you guys this. With a lot of your cases, what are the big truths that you want to make sure that this is what a potential bariatric weight loss surgery patient does take from the conversation? Because I think at that time, I know for me personally, there's a lot of information, and really that patient is picking and choosing what they're going to take in, what they're going to absorb, and what's going to be reality for them. So what are the key takeaways that you would say to a potential patient as this is what you really, really need to know about weight loss surgery in your practice?
Joe, you want to go or?
Sure. I mean, I guess big things are some of the things that we touched on. One, bariatric surgery is very, very safe. Increases quality of life, increases health. Number two, bariatric surgery is often covered by insurance, which some people know and some people don't. That it is important to have a consultation with a team that is knowledgeable, because everyone has my sister's cousin's aunt's neighbor in 1974 had some surgery, and these are all the problems, and this is why I don't want to have this. And then, then lastly, it is really, it's the one thing that does work. I mean, when you're thinking about why someone is the weight that they are, you have, things that are in our control, food that we eat, how much we eat, exercise, sleep and vitamins and, stress levels and sort of things like that. And then you have all of these things over here, all these hormonal things and genetic things that we just, we don't have in our personal control. That surgery is a successful thing because it does this to allow this to work. And that's why it's not an easy way out. I mean, look at your guys' workout routines. That's not easy in any stretch of the imagination. But, with the surgery in place, these good habits that people have are now it's possible that this is going to work and give people like long-term success.
Yeah. I think that's what I always just felt so frustrated about is like I was doing honestly like the majority of things that I could control. I was eating, enough food and the right types of foods. I was working out. I was trying to manage stress levels, doing all of the things that I did have control over, and there were no results to show for it. And it was so frustrating and gets, kind of like gets you in this loop. And so having a tool that can help with more of that genetic component and more of that hormonal related aspect of things, it was like, oh, finally the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm working so hard at, I'm getting to see results for. And it's the first time in my life I've ever experienced that. And I know a lot of other people can relate to that too. So thank you for shedding light on that.
Yeah, and I, Dr. Joe, someone who very, very well, D, he actually, for me, framed it the best way in that, we're all running the same race in life. And realistically, oftentimes when you are a bariatric patient before surgery, your starting line is just further back, right? Yeah. Like we would love to just be at the same place and be able to work and do all the different things, but because of a variety of different things, whether it's hormones, whether it's ailments, whether it's other comorbidities. For me, I had 4 herniated discs. I was in severe pain. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do all these different things. And then emotionally and mentally, where that puts you in a state to do all this, once I did have the surgery, it did move me closer to that starting line. So I was able to do the things that I could do within my power to get to that life that I wanted, which, that's sort of all we want. We want to just have that chance again, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. It's just, there's still a hill. It's a hill, but it's not an insurmountable. No, it levels the playing field.
Yeah. Dr. Fridley, did you have any truths that you wanted to throw in there?
Some of the truths that I would put out there is to say that, or maybe it's a myth, is to say like, oh, once you've finished your surgery, you're done. You don't need to follow back up.
Yeah.
And the truth is that the bariatric journey never really ends. And I think people really need to know that they have to feel comfortable with the team to go back when they're having weight regain, when they're having severe reflux. And it's not, that they need to be educated that there are other surgeries or revisional surgeries that are accessible, that are just as safe, that'll help them on the next stage or get them to their goal weight or get them them past the reflux or issues that they're having. And just knowing that, the journey is long-term, and your relationship with your surgeons or in your community should be just as long.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think you bring up a really good point about regain. I know that's something big I hear talked about in the community. And I think a lot of people who experience regain, and I've been one of those included in that, there's a lot of like shame and like, I feel like I'm failing, or I don't know what to do from here. From both of you, when you have patients that come in that are experiencing regain, maybe it's, a year post-op, 2-3+ years after surgery, what advice do you typically give people that are in that spot?
So usually, we start off with a full reset. So we go back to the basics. What are you doing for your diet? What are you doing for exercise? What is your behaviors that are your day-to-day? And then start going back to the basics of like, okay, well, what's your protein intake? What's your water intake? Let's work on those small metrics, just because as you get further and further away from your index procedure, we find that patients, they usually, habits come back, comfort foods come back. So we want to break those, but understand what they are and start educating on kind of like change this for that. And that usually helps. And then there's sometimes it truly is like, maybe you should have never had a sleeve to begin with. There should have been a bypass. And we can have that discussion, but it's on a case-by-case basis always.
Sure. Anything from you, Dr. Joe, anything else that you suggest to patients?
Yeah, honestly, exactly that. Like, I love the word team in this. Is just, you have those patient factors that, that you can control, go back, look over your information, start controlling those factors that you can control. And if that's not working for you, reach back out to the community. Online community like this is just so super important to like keep people connected, keep those good habits like in the forefront of their brain, and then reach back out to, surgeon's office and team. Are there surgery factors that we need to be working on to give you extra help? Is there a medication that may help? Do we need farming out, like we've got like psychology and, nutrition help and exercise help and all this sort of stuff that, our offices had to sort of like get all these different parts back on track to like, to get success. The other thing I like to tell people is, it's easier if people are having a little bit of rate reoccurrence. It's much easier to deal with that at the bottom, starting to trend up, than at the top. So, the earlier that you can start to refocus when it becomes a little bit of a concern for a patient, the better. The better.
Definitely.
So, from my point of view, and I'm seeing a lot of this in the chat. And I see it oftentimes with posts that you guys have, as well as your relationship with your patients. I am very jealous because in Canada, we do not have that relationship. I am on your service for a year. At a year, I have my last follow-up and like, okay, success, bye.
Yeah.
And I don't see them again. And it's unfortunate. And I think that is a big reason why even people who I speak with in Canada, after that 1 year mark, they're still lost. Because realistically, they didn't get that education, they didn't get that support that clinics like yours do and provide your patients. So if you guys can, we'll start with Dr. Fridley, and then we'll go to Dr. Joe after. Can you tell us a bit about your clinic, about your practice, where you guys are, and sort of the philosophies behind what you do?
Sure. So we're a small practice. Right now we have our one office, and we're opening up a second office location just outside of Tampa, Florida. And so we do quite a bit of actually revisional work now. But we, as you guys know, and most of the community knows, is my wife runs the practice, and there's two surgeons, me, and then Dr. Maya is also within the practice. But we do general surgery and all bariatrics. And I think our focus is probably to keep it is everything you would expect from a full center to be outside of the hospital. So we have a dietitian in the office. We partner with psychologists outside, and so that we don't require anything other than a facility to do the procedure, and then you're back onto our roles, so that we never really lose touch with us. And that's our key. Is we want to all of our patients to have the communication and have the comfort to talk to us a year out, 3 months out, or 2 years out, to say, hey, I just need to go back and see Fridley. I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. Just come back. And there's no judgment. There's nothing. It's just pure honesty. And that's what you get when you come to us.
I love that.
And the bell. Lest us forget.
No, I absolutely love that. We don't have that. We do have psychologists as part of it. We have dietitians, we have nurse practitioners, we have everyone within the program. But your meetings with your program prior are very much related to, are you going to get approved?
Yep.
Is this, are you a good candidate? And realistically, are you a good candidate to not fail the procedure, as well as the funding that's going towards that procedure, right? And that's unfortunate. And so I am often very jealous when I see the relationships that you guys have with your patients, because it's a lifelong thing. And it's such a big benefit to your patients long-term. Success.
Well, and even in the States, though, like with my program, they were great, but it was definitely more of like in and out. And I traveled to Las Vegas to get my procedure done. And so it's not like I go there to follow up with them. And another option, just to give people more ideas too, is finding a provider who specializes in obesity medicine, metabolic related things is really helpful. So I'm lucky where I have my primary care provider who's really knowledgeable and awesome. But then I also have an obesity medicine specialist who's a physician that I see, and I do follow up with her. So just another route to go if you're kind of in that similar boat where maybe you're not able to, connect with your bariatric surgeon's offices often or whatnot. There are potential other options too. So.
Dr. Joe, if you can share with us some of the details regarding your practice too, that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm mostly bariatric, a little bit of general surgery surgeon. Been doing this about 25 years here in the exact same location. Again, we're also a small practice. My partner, Dr. Chen, is with me. He's been about 3 or 4 years right now. We are a fairly high volume, but very boutique-y practice. And I think that our specialty is patient experience. One of our big upsides is the ladies and the guys who we do employ here in the office to help take care of our patients with us. So they are all very knowledgeable. They all know a lot about bariatrics. Lots of them are bariatric patients. So from, the first phone call, you get a hug on the phone and you just start to feel comfortable with the whole process of weight loss surgery, because it's super scary.
Yeah.
People who are in the medical field, it's still super scary. So I think just that, that patient experience of taking care of people, caring about people throughout the whole process, both the perioperative time and then long term. I have patients from 20 years ago that still,
so cool.
See me. It's just, it's nice to see people to stay in touch and to stay on track. And that's basically us.
It's awesome.
How does it feel from your point of view to have played such an integral part in people really changing their lives and really running with this second opportunity at life? Like, how does that feel from your point of view to really be a big part of that?
It's why I do it, really. So I'm a surgeon. I love surgery. It's just like fun. It's technically challenged. It's you're alive in the operating room when you're operating. So I love operating, and I do a lot of general surgery and that sort of thing too. But, taking out somebody's appendix, it's rewarding and they're going to feel better, but it's always, oh, I've got graduation, I'm here on vacation. There's nobody wants their appendix out. Kind of a speed date, you meet them and then they're gone, and that sort of thing. And that, that has its rewards too. But just sort of watching the journey of the patients afterwards, oh, you're part of the reason we have this baby now,
Yeah.
Just all that really cool stuff, that goes on. Couples who sort of like, their marriage kind of rekindles and sort of things like that. I can tell you about it. Like that's the fun part. So it's really cool to be a part of that. And it's, because general surgery is very broad. There's tons of things you can do. And that's why I tended to focus on bariatrics from kind of early in my career.
Super cool. How about you, Dr. Fridley?
So, I never thought I was going to be a bariatric surgeon. With so many years with the military, I actually thought I was going to be a trauma surgeon, and thought that was where I was going to go. But I actually, after moonlighting doing that in residency, I was like, this is so boring. But it was actually the bariatric surgeons that I linked up with where they seemed the happiest and had the best quality of life. So I started entertaining it. And when I got to actually do the surgeries and participate in the patients who are coming in because they want to, not because they have to, because they want to. They're making a conscious decision to meet you halfway, like an appendix or a gallbladder issue. They're coming to the ER because they're in pain and they have no choice. So you feel good by helping.
Oh, Dr. Fridley froze, I think.
Very honorable.
There you go.
Very honorable. I love it.
It's awesome. I know too, one of the things that Macy was the one who started talking about it. And then I think Heather chimed in too about just the landscape of insurance. And I know that's like a very broad topic, but I know for me, like I was very frustrated where I have commercial insurance and it should be one that's covered. But for me, the program that I had here locally couldn't get me in for like a year and a half, like to actually start in their program. And so that was like an issue. And that's why I had to go elsewhere. And the reason I ended up picking the place that I went to was because they could bill my insurance, and they did some type of magic. I still don't exactly know what they did, but they were able to bill it more as like an outpatient surgery rather than bariatric surgery. So I was able to get insurance to cover it. But I guess I don't know where to start, but if I'm a patient and my insurance doesn't cover bariatric surgery, what suggestions do you have? Because you guys see a bit more behind the scenes when it comes to insurance and kind of workarounds. And I know there's not always the case, but I guess just like general guidance on like what you would share with patients on that, of like how to advocate for ourselves. Are there loopholes that we're not aware of? Just any feedback you have on that topic, I think would be helpful.
I think the first thing is, to contact your insurance and get not just the explanation of benefits, but get your entire policy is beneficial, because that is the one that you signed up for. That is going to be the written law. And when we reach out to our patients, usually we do in-house verifications, and a lot of times we get patients who have exclusions, and there's not a whole lot you can do with that. But we also get misinformation when we're calling, because the frontline people answering the phones, maybe they're outsourced to India or something else. And literally some of the companies here, we have to ask them. It's like, we need an onshore representative, and we need to talk to someone here in the United States who can pull up that policy, look through the fine details and see, is this truly an exclusion, or was that just an easy answer out? So that's the key, is to really know ahead of time, where do you stand? And if you do have an exclusion, then, you really have to, look at outside the box. Like there's some companies out there who offer ancillary services, like they'll cover this at an extra fee, and that comes back to the employer and what policies they've negotiated with for their employees. But there's a lot of options, and sometimes when we know that if it's like a revision or something else, something kind of tangential than the initial surgery, we get a lot of pushback with a sleeve patient who's got reflux, and they want to say, no, we can't. We're not going to approve a bypass. And that you just have to be patient and know that we have to fight for you. We're going to go through the appeal process. We will basically drown them with the information and expect that they're going to do a peer-to-peer, talk to whoever their medical expert is, make sure that they're a surgeon that's board certified, and then basically we can have that discussion and show them the information. And for the most part, we can get it turned around. But patients coming in have to know that we're going to fight for them. But they do need to do their due diligence to make sure they have a good understanding of what is covered under their own policy.
And a quick follow-up question to that. If I know that my insurance does not include bariatric surgery and I don't have money to pay out of pocket, is it still worth it to establish with you? Because potentially, maybe insurance will change down the line, or maybe there's medication options. Is it still worth connecting with you guys, even if I know my insurance doesn't cover bariatric surgery?
I would say yes, because, even though bariatrics, it might be the one code, they won't cover morbid obesity to be seen, but you might have other comorbidities. You might have a hiatal hernia or some reflux or other things that we can still assist with. And then, of course, in our office, when we have the dietitian, we can do things on the side that are going to help chip away at the behavioral aspects. And that's only going to help up until the time when you have an insurance change or something else comes about, or they now cover it. We've had plenty of patients who started and midway down, 3 months into it, they're now have a totally new insurance and now it's covered. So great. So, but there's nothing to stop you.
Yeah. How about you, Dr. Joe? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And so when you're thinking about insurance, there's going to be sort of two pods of patients. Their weight loss surgery, it's different from let's say hernia or gallbladder surgery. It's more like infertility care or maternity care or sort of things like that. Policies will either have that as a covered benefit or they won't have that as a covered benefit. It doesn't matter if you're Blue Cross covers it, but Cigna doesn't. It could be Blue Cross Coca-Cola covers it, but Blue Cross Pepsi doesn't. So yeah, just like Dr. Fridley said, a good first call is to the insurance company, but also at the same time, know the people that you're talking to are different from the people who are going to authorize it, are different from the people that are actually going to pay for it. And so they don't always know what everybody else knows. Human resources at your company is also a really good person to beforehand, hey, I'm considering this. Is this a covered benefit? What do you think my criteria are? And then you're starting at least at a base of a little bit of information. And then if you'd like your insurance to go through, if you like your surgery to go through insurance, you're going to need a provider that is a part of your plan. Because not all surgeons take every single plan for that reason. So you want to find a surgeon that's sort of in network with your plan. Even more complicated than that, you're going to want to find a facility that your surgeon goes to that is also in network with your plan. Okay. And then once the patient comes in, then, okay, we have coverage. We're going to have those criteria. Those criteria can be relatively straightforward. A visit, with a psychology evaluation, nutrition evaluation. Sometimes those criteria can be fairly arduous. It could be, 6, 12 visits with various people in other hoops. But our office prides themselves on being really good at getting people through those hoops and getting them through as quickly as painlessly as possible. And then, I totally agree. Like, even if you're like, hey, I don't have coverage at all, it is a great idea to get in with a bariatric practice, breathe it in, meet the staff, meet the physician. Okay, is this a place I'm comfortable with? It may be that surgery is not covered, but medical management is.
Okay.
So you could just sort of like start down that road. And just like Dr. Fridley says, I just have so many patients because insurance changes every year. The coverage can pop on and pop off at the will of HR departents.
Right.
People could be already in the practice, like, hey, still interested, recheck, redo all the benefits checks and stuff like that. And hey, now you're covered.
Go ahead, Shay.
Okay.
I'm wrapping my head around everything.
I know. Well, it's different for Rob because their process in Canada is so different. So like I understand the American side of it a little bit more, but I'm just curious too, for your guys' practice, how long or like how soon can you get patients in? And how long is the process typically? Like, let's say that you have somebody who their insurance covers it and like that is is smooth, let's say. How long is your guys' program? Because I know every program is a bit different with like the pre-op stuff they do. Like I said, I tried to get into my local program here and they were like, we can't get you started in the program until a year and a half. And then at that point, it was like a year process until having surgery. So I'm just curious just to kind of have different perspectives on that, what your process looks like.
Yeah, that's a good point because for us, I'd say that one of the key things is motivation. So when someone has actually obtained the courage to make the phone call, to set up the appointment, we want to build upon that. So we have a rule. We definitely try to get everyone in for their initial within 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Either with me or with my nurse practitioner.
Wow.
Because we can at least get you in, educate you about what we are, what we stand for. And then that gets the ball rolling to say, hey, are you, fit enough for this? Like, how much do you know? How much do you want to know? And we can answer a ton of questions within that first 1 hour visit. But it's key to keep the ball rolling mentally to say that we're constantly going for this goal, because you lose interest quickly when you feel like I'm just showing up or just taking money for my copay and nothing's really happening. It's like you have to build the momentum. So we try and get them in within 2 weeks. And for the most part, I try to get them done, depending on insurance, of course, and what the requirements are. We try to get things completed and what we call program complete within 4 months.
Wow, that's great.
Because my philosophy is after doing all these, obviously not as long as Joey, the master, this, but I feel like I'm teaching them how to swim with diagrams for the first several months. And then surgery is throwing you in the deep end. And then having the courage to say, okay, I can swim, you can do it on my own. And when you falter, you feel comfortable coming back to the clinic and fine tuning the little things to make sure that you're going to fly. But, that 3 to 4 months to get you there is just enough information that you are still committed, that you know enough to be safe, and that you're going to follow through, and that we continue. But I feel like more importantly is the follow-up afterwards, is the close follow-up afterwards to make sure that, okay, you've got it now, you've got your sleeve, you've got your bypass or whatever you got, but now you need to heed to everything we talked about. And then let's fine-tune it for now in your world actively. And that's where it's more important.
Awesome. How about you, Dr. Joe? What does your process look like?
So ours can be a little quicker. Usually from someone calls today, we can get them seen in the office for a consultation. We do all our consultations ourselves with the surgeon. And that may take a week, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit longer based on people's schedule and that sort of stuff. But I do a lot of operating. I also do a lot of clinic. I do a lot of night clinic. I do tons of clinic. So it's relatively easy to get in for that first consultation. And we do like to see people, ourselves, just because, to make that sort of like connection. Are they a good fit for me, or am I a good fit for them? Make that determination. And then based on insurance, it can be, we can jump through insurance hoops within a couple of weeks, quickest. But if you're one of those, 6 months of visits people, it's going to be, that 6 months. Once we sort of check that final box of, okay, submission time, from submission time to procedure time can be anywhere. The quickest it can go is about 2 to 3 weeks, based on insurance.
Wow, that's awesome.
It can go relatively quickly with some people.
Yeah.
2 years, and I didn't see a surgeon till a year and 10 months.
Yeah.
And so like even at that point, I have all these questions, and if it is not a good fit for me, then that's a year and 10 months that I've put into this to have this conversation to find out if it's a good fit for me or not. And even I went in to that meeting still not sure, because there are a lot of questions. I was doing a lot of endurance cycling. I had lost a lot of weight at that time on my own. I lost about 100 pounds on my own at that time. And the question is like, how do I sustain this type of exercise, which is I enjoy. It's part of my lifestyle at this point. How do I do that when I have bariatric surgery and I can't feel myself the same way? Right. And I had to wait a year and 10 months. And realistically, the answer wasn't adequate either, because the nutritionists at that point, they didn't have experience with endurance training. And so it was a challenge at that point. So realistically, I look at my journey, and at a year and 10 month mark, it could have gone anywhere, because it was that late. So to hear that you guys actually meet within 4 months or in 2 weeks or 3 weeks and
that's amazing.
That is amazing. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm curious too, because like, are you guys open to taking patients outside of your area, or like, do you have like a radius? Cause like, I'm just thinking, if I had been plugged in and known about you guys, and that would have been an option, like I would have traveled to one of you guys. Like, you know, I just didn't know that was an option at that time. But do you guys have certain restrictions around that, or how does that work?
Joe, you want to go? Or?
Oh, no, I really don't. I see people from all over the country who fly in to have surgery all the time. I don't know, if I have a day with 5 surgeries, 3 maybe out of state. I have people from Canada who come to see me just because, of the headache of your year and 10 months. They say, okay, well, I'm a little bit more hurried to feel better, and we'll come down here. So I see a lot of,
and that's all like out of pocket
versions,
like people paying out of pocket for that primarily. Then, like if they're coming from Canada, I would imagine.
From Canada, yes, but from other states, no. Oftentimes it'll just go through there.
Awesome.
It's like it would if they were local here.
Cool.
Yeah, we get it from across the state, and we've had several from all over, but it's no real restrictions. And sometimes we try to make it easy for them to do like televisits rather than coming to visit every time, just to make it a little bit more convenient and make sure that they're able to stay in close communication. But we try to make it as easy as possible, no matter what.
The telemedicine has really been a great thing, because even Texas is so big. Florida is so big too. Like they could be in state and 8 hours away. So these the televisits have really made first the initial handshake super easy. Let's touch base, get to know each other, learn about what the whole process looks like, and then the post-operative visits. You don't have to drive 8 hours here anymore to get your 1 year visit. We can do pretty much everything that we need, and then we can send your labs out to your Quest or your primary care to get them done out there. So the telemedicine thing has really has opened up weight loss surgery in a really good way.
In Florida, we have a lot of we call them snowbirds. So so it opens the door for patients who are coming down, or if they're just here seasonally, we can help them, take care of them, and when they go back to their home states or wherever they're at for 6 months of the year, and they can just call in or video call in, the same thing. Take care of them, coordinate with their primary care up there to make sure the labs are getting done and any issues are resolved.
That's awesome.
Do you find that, doing the telemedicine, is that more as a result of COVID and the challenges you had there, or was this something you had done previously?
So I think COVID definitely brought it to the forefront, and I even think that reimbursement-wise, COVID allowed it to start getting reimbursed. But I'm getting whispers of it actually going away now, which is driving people to become a little bit more vocal about it. But I mean, I personally like the face-to-face. I enjoy having that interaction with them, but you can't be at more than one place at one time, and distance is a problem. But yeah, I think this is all related to COVID, but I don't think it shouldn't go anywhere. I think it has a utility.
Marty has been active in the chat with his little paws typing stuff, and he mentioned you know how hard I see him working hard.
Marty types better than I do.
Truly. But he's
better than me.
But he is mentioning Surgery Plus, that pays for the flight for the patient and the companion. I have no idea what Surgery Plus is. Could you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, so we're chatting insurance. So Surgery Plus is, excuse the phrase, it's kind of like a side chick to your normal insurance. that a lot of like major companies have instituted.
Okay.
So companies, it's like State Farm, it's American Airlines, it's Home Depot. We have this whole huge list of all these like little and huge companies that are part of Surgery Plus. And it's a very interesting insurance because it almost takes you back like 30, 40, 50 years. It places a lot of the decision making in the hands of the patient and the surgeon, as far as which procedure is best for them, which kind of revision might be best for them. If
mind-blowing concept.
Yeah, like completely mind-blowing concepts. Like the patients that have the Surgery Plus, and it's also Lantern is its new name. So Surgery Plus or Lantern, they're completely blown away. Like, I don't have to do 2 years of criteria and meet all of these sort of different things. No, it's like the decision between the patient and the surgeon. And the way that they do it, it saves a lot of money by cutting out a lot of administrative middlemen.
Amazing.
Like, it's just crazy. So it can be super simple. People can come in. The surgery is free for them. They will fly people in to have their procedure. They'll put people up in hotels. They'll buy people meals. All sorts of stuff, bells and whistles like that from a patient perspective that they get. It's just a really, really cool plan for the companies that have it.
That's cool. So as a patient, if you have been hitting roadblocks of like your insurance isn't covering it, or you don't have insurance that would cover something like that, that's another thing to consider, is like doing research and finding the companies that offer something like that, and potentially getting a job there, and it maybe temporarily or long term, depending on what it is. But it's like, I was so desperate at that point to get the surgery done that I would have considered that at that point. So again, just throwing out options if other people are in a similar situation.
No, for sure.
Even if you just have the comfort to talk to your HR. I feel like a lot of the
That's
HR
a big part
departments
of it,
don't really know what their employees really want. So if you're vocal and saying, hey, we need to have bariatric coverage, and you're going every week and tell them, and you're telling your coworkers, we need to go tell them, that's how you can, petition to actually get it, covered. And if they're fighting that, to then, okay, maybe we should get like Luminary Health, or maybe we should get Surgery Plus or something else, so that it can be an additive.
That's awesome. And someone in the comments had asked if Surgery Plus can be used for plastics, but Marty was very quick on the draw. He said, sadly, only bariatrics and ortho, but I thought that was a really good question.
Yeah. I do have a couple questions. They're not related to insurance, though. So I don't know.
Rob's like, I'm bored.
I'm just like, oh my God, I get it. It's better than what I got. Do you have any other questions though in terms of insurance? I just want to also respect your time, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm good. We can move forward with yours.
All right. So, and I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing, because I will say that when I had my surgery almost 4 years ago, it was not. I'm the only person I know who had bariatric surgery. Even within my circle or my extended circle, same type of thing. Only thing I knew about bariatric surgery is what I saw on TLC, and it was very limited in regards to what we had in Canada in terms of that. And so my question, and Shea and I and Murph, we've talked about the idea that it would be great to have shows talking about all the great things about bariatric surgery and all the positives about it, because all we saw is the doom and gloom. Even with someone going through the process, it was still framed in doom and gloom. And so how do you feel that has affected the practice and sort of the idea of bariatric surgery? And how are you
of it?
Yeah, the perception. And how do you find that? Do you find that a lot of your potential patients come with that misconception, or is it just Canadians?
No, for sure. Although I can tell you it's way better than it was when I started. Like way, way better than it was. I mean, bariatric surgery is just leaps and leaps and leaps and bounds, just, in the types of procedures that we do, how we do them, that sort of thing. But in all the support that patients get. Like, in 2000, you got your surgery, you got 2 post-op visits, and you're good to go, Look to you. I mean, and that's just what we were doing at the time. So we've learned so much, and we've come so far since back then. But there's still a lot of misconceptions. With those TV shows, people don't know that at a BMI of 30, lots of people can be wonderful candidates for procedures. They think they need to be at a BMI of 80, 90, 100, like on TV, to actually qualify for procedures. So, I mean, I think those misconceptions are still out there, but certainly, we've made a lot of strides in dispelling a lot of those myths, but they're still out there.
Yeah.
And kind of what you said, Dr. Joe, before a while back, it's like, it's better to catch it before it gets to that point. And I think that's why I'm so glad, like, I had my surgery when I was 27. I was 283 pounds. I can't remember like what my BMI was, but it definitely wasn't a severe case in comparison to probably some of the ones that you've seen. But it's like, because I got it younger and like before it got more, unmanageable, it's like now I'll be able to have the opportunity to have kids, God willing, and hopefully. But it's like, I've talked with other people where they've waited too long because they didn't know that could help with fertility or other issues. And they're like, man, I wish I would have done it younger. So I'm excited that the narrative is getting out there more and people are having it done younger and can just live like better lives longer. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The earlier, the better. And like we do a lot of teenagers as well, which is
cool.
Kind of subset of patients to operate on. They just do so well, kind of quality of life. I mean, just it's amazing the quality of life changes that the teen years are rough in general, but they're even rougher, for the bariatric patients. You just the earlier that you can do it, you just avoid all the wear and tear, on all the joints and all the other body systems that can like occur over the years. So the sooner you can, you can stop that, it's better.
And Dr. Fridley?
I think, the media has actually put it to be discussed more. So, I do think it's kind of tainted the view to say, yes, you need to be those extreme BMIs to really be considered for this, which is inaccurate. But I do think that it does allow for more discussions for it. And because it's became, a little bit more mainstream or acceptable, then that has fueled the capacity for us to have more support and more, to build upon it. And since now is becoming, your outcomes are becoming vital for us to track. So now we have to do, as physicians, have to do a better job. We have to police ourselves and get this entire field to be better. So I think it's definitely served its role. I do it does bother me sometimes at how it is always doom and gloom, because that's what keeps people's attentions. Everyone loves seeing a train wreck, but nobody wants to actually see how intricate the process is of actually loading everyone in. But that's just media in general.
Yeah.
So you talk about support, you talk about you guys doing better, and I don't think there are too many other surgeons in our community or out there who have continuously done better for your community. And so why is it so important for you guys to support the way you do? Like I met both of you guys at JBY's last year. Dr. Fridley, you were there this year. You guys continuously support them through sponsorship as well as other meetups. Why is it so important to do what you guys do for your bariatric community? Because it is amazing to see.
And it stands out.
Is. Like if you're reading the comments, everyone just loves you guys.
Your inspirations.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see. Dr. Joe, I was driving around he was my roommate at JBY's, and he couldn't stop speaking about all the amazing things about you. Dr. Fridley, we know so much about you. We've talked for face to face oftentimes, and you have done so much, and you guys are always showing up. Why is that so important for you guys? Because you don't see that everywhere.
Well, I think the big thing is I just love it. I love what I do, so it's it's not just what I do for a living. It's really what I do. It's what I do for my life.
It's a passion.
My wife's very involved in it. The dog's very involved in it. I've met so many really great people, because we know a lot of the same people in common, and these are great people, and I, people who are my patients and people who aren't my patients. I've just met a good group of wonderful people that I enjoy, kind of spending time with. And then one of the biggest things, and this was a surpriser to me when I first started getting more into the community, wow, how much I've learned, because, you sort of have over here, you have surgeon chats where two or three or 500 surgeons are all chatting with each other. And these are the things that they talk about. And then you have sort of that patient relationship between patient and surgeon. And that's a whole another bucket of what is discussed in those kind of conversations. But then you have all of this sort of community patient to patient stuff. And I've learned so much of this over here, little things, big things, just crazy stuff that people worry about, and things that post-operatively, and tips and tricks. It's really kind of been able to transfer into my patient relationships to kind of make me a better doctor,
That's so cool.
Yeah, I absolutely. Everything Joe just said, it's the passion that we have. And I think that by being involved in the community side, it actually helps fuel it, because we're learning more. And we know the textbook side, we know what the research coming, we're reading the articles. So, but the patient experience side is something that is not, within our realm for the most part. But, when you're passionate about it, you want to know all aspects. You want to be that expert. You want to be knee deep involved in it. And so that's why for us, it's who we are. Me personally, I don't want to just talk the talk, and I want to kind of live it. I want to be an example for the next generation of bariatric surgeons coming up. It's this is what you need to be like, because this is how we're going to grow. This is how, physicians, we're going to better ourselves. And so I think that helps. But the patient experience is, maybe it's uncouth sometimes, but hey, it's real, and that realism is what I think everyone needs to have, and that's why I absolutely want to be involved with it.
One of the first things you had mentioned when we first talked, Dr. Fridley, was how you were really advocating for other surgeons to just do better in regards to this part of your practice, and you definitely see that. And I think you guys both exemplify that very, very well. So thank you guys so much on behalf of our community. I do want to respect your time, so I do want to ask. See, I just took over, Shea. I don't want your.
I'm just loving it. This is so great conversation.
Talking about all of this, I want you guys to share, and again, this comes down to passion. Dr. Fridley, please tell us about the bell. And Dr. Joe, I am hearing a lot about a wall of pictures that's huge. Please share with us the story. Oh my
yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to ring it because the kids are asleep.
Honestly, I didn't want to ring it because I was like, my kids are going to come in because they're like, oh, a bell. And it's like, it's not for you. But
we could ring it for dinner time. And all the kids
there you go.
The bell. So I've been in the military for over 19 years, and it was always a Navy thing. I'm Army, so part of me wants to vomit when I talk about the Navy. But so it was always rooted in the journey. So the harbor bell was rung whenever the ships came back to shore, where there's all maritime. This is all way before there was actual Navy. So it's a welcoming home. The journey has been completed. And it was adopted by the oncology world is whenever you completed your chemotherapy or your treatments, radiation or otherwise, that you could ring the bell because now you're quote unquote disease free. But I kind of wanted to do something that said, you shouldn't have to wait for the journey to be over. The beauty of the journey is that you celebrate every little victory, no matter how small, but it is the self-gratification of putting yourself out there, celebrating yourself, making a noise so that everyone else could hear that. Everyone else can participate in your joy for whatever reason is. And we call it the 100-pound bell because a lot of people just had that triple digit. If you lose that, that's amazing.
I got a mug.
I don't care if it's 70 pounds, 50 pounds, but if it was, if you feel like you have accomplished something, you come ring that bell because your chance to stand up and be heard and celebrated. And I think everyone deserves it because everyone spends way too much time in the negative world and they spend way too much time being hard on themselves, even though just because they're ingrained into it. And it's like, if you learn to be kind to yourself, you'll definitely be kinder to others. This was just a way to celebrate every single person individually in a small part of the office.
I love it.
And the picture wall.
Yeah, so the walls. I can't even tell you how many photos there are, but it's part of the philosophy of the practice that when people walk in, they're going to see all over the place pictures of patients, their before and afters, pictures of patients out enjoying all the social things that we do together. That they're in a comfortable place with other people that have walked through the same journey that they're about to walk through. And it's just a great celebration. I mean, people love walking through and kind of seeing themselves up on the wall. Everybody's kids get all excited when they see mom or dad up there, point them out and stuff like that. So it's just a great little way to kind of get people excited, give people hope, because a lot of our patients, they just don't have hope. I mean, they just don't have hope when they're walking through the door. Here's all of this hope. Look at all of these people, because they may not be like, out on Instagram and TikTok and all that sort of stuff yet, where they don't even know that whole world exists.
Yeah.
It just gives people hope walking through the door, that change is possible.
Yeah. And just for some clarification, Marty, you had said, I don't even know how many pictures. Marty says there's 3,000.
Hard at work, man. He never stops.
No,
always something to do.
Well, oh my gosh, thank you. It is past 10 o'clock and I know that you guys, it looks like you guys.
Anybody have surgery tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you guys have surgery tomorrow? Yep.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Every day. I just want to say thank you very much. It's great having you guys here. The amount of information that you guys share, the insight to the other side for the patients, I think is invaluable and it means a lot. And once again, from the perspective of the bariatric community, we could not have two people who represent us or as part of our community any better than you guys. So thank you very much.
No, thank you for what you do. Like I always talk about how you guys make it more mainstream by talking about it because it hits more ears than we can provide to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So where can everyone find you? Dr. Joe, where can people find you if they want to check out your practice a bit more or just check out you and Marty and Heather?
Yeah. So our Instagram is One Operation Changes Life. And the website is texascenterforsurgery.com, all kind of spelled out. It's really a great website. There's just a ton of different information on there. Whether you're coming to this practice or whether you're somewhere else and you just want a lot of information, it's a good resource for people. Or, I mean, honestly, you can email me directly. It's Dr. Cribbins at texascenterforsurgery.com, and I get patients email me night and day from all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Super cool.
Yeah. And Dr. Fridley?
Yeah. So Instagram, we're SABP_weight loss. Also, our website is sabpweightloss.com. Tons of information on there. Get a little bit of background about who we are. But we're pretty accessible.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys again for spending the time with us. And thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community.
Pound at a time. Doesn't hit like Murph. Doesn't hit. He has a deep voice. It doesn't hit. I should have had Dr. Joe, Dr. Fridley do it.
Yeah, I think so. We gotta do better too. Come on, Jay. Thank you, everyone. You have a great night.
Bye, guys. Appreciate you.
Take care. Good to see you, Joe.
Bye-bye.